Hello and good day. I'd like to offer a quick and effective orientation practice. Now, when I say orientation practice, what I mean by that is giving ourselves an opportunity to come into the present moment, to orient to the here and now. So often our thoughts can lead us to memories of the past, it can bring us into the future, and those are both two places where fear, anxiety, worry, despair can live because we're not here in the now. We're thinking about what has been and what is to come. And so when I speak to orienting practices, for me, what those are is it's an opportunity for me to bring my focus into what is taking place in this very moment and to be an observer in each moment as they come and as they pass. And so if you'd like to do this with me, you're more than welcome, invited, and in fact, that is the invitation here. And so to begin, take a moment to get comfortable in your body. Readjust in your seat. Notice your contact points, your sit points on your chair. Or if you're standing up, notice your feet on the floor. Notice if there's any slight adjustments that might make you feel more comfortable. So for example, perhaps leaning back in your seat and allowing your body to rest on the comfort and support of whatever seat, chair, wall is behind you. Notice your breath. Perhaps you notice that you have been holding your breath or limiting the way in which the oxygen fills your lungs. So just taking a moment and bringing your awareness to the breath without trying to change it or alter or manipulate it. Simply notice, how are you breathing right now? And as you do so, you might feel an impulse or desire to exhale audibly through the mouth, to make a sigh or some kind of expression, but something to allow the breath to support you in softening. And give yourself that opportunity to soften more into the chair in which you sit, soften into the body. Bringing your focus to the body and any physical sensation. Notice if there's any tension, particularly in the jaw, between the eyebrows, the shoulders, the neck. Notice if you're consciously or unconsciously holding your belly in, and what is it to just let that relax. And inviting some slow but deep breaths in through the nose. And allowing the exhale to be authentic and natural to you. So if you feel like releasing through the mouth, if you feel like releasing through the nose, just allowing the exhale to happen in a way where you're releasing any tension, any built up energy. You may want to bring one hand to the heart or the chest and one hand on your stomach, right on the diaphragm there, right underneath the rib cage, if you can see that, right under here. And bring a hand there and one to your heart. Taking some deep, slow breaths. Feeling the rise and fall of your chest and your stomach. And if there's any intrusive thoughts competing for your attention, perhaps you're noticing the to-do list or the sounds and distractions of things around you, and that's more than fine. Notice without judgment, and then make a conscious decision to shift your awareness, to shift your focus back to the breath, back to the rise and fall of your chest, of your stomach. With every inhale, every exhale. For what better way to be in this present moment than to choose to be in relationship with the breath of life. And what is it to welcome that realization into your awareness? That with every inhale, you're calling in life force energy. And what is it to do so mindfully? And to be present with this relationship between self and the breath, for without the breath, who are we? How are we? Noticing any sensations in the body with a gentle curiosity. Without judgment or fear. And should those arise, notice and release them. As though on the exhale you're imagining that your breath is actually gifting those fears, those anxieties, those worries, those distractions. And you're giving them up, giving them back to whatever their place of origin may be. And in your own time, allow your eyes to gently open if they've closed. And if they've been open, to bring your awareness to your external environment. If you're near a window, there's a way that you can see outside. My invitation is to bring your eyes, your gaze in that direction. And if you're not in a place where you can see outside, simply allow your eyes to gently and slowly scan the room or the space in which you occupy. So this is where we're adding an additional layer of focus, of presence, while staying connected to the breath. Might you also lift your gaze to look outside and simply notice. And so at this time where I sit, the season is winter. And I notice the barren branches of the oak tree. The maple tree. The birch. I can see some of the snow where it's landed. On those treetops. And I can see the pine tree rustling in the wind alongside the spruce behind it. If I listen really closely, I can hear the rustling of the wind. And as I attune my eyes, I can see the different variations and shades of green. And slowly bringing my intention to the room in which I sit. Noticing the silhouettes and shadows on the wall. The angles. Where the ceiling meets the wall, windowsill. The colors on the blanket. And as you look around your environment, particularly indoors, you might notice the things in which you wish you had have tended to, or you might notice the pull of distractions. Oh, this isn't straight, or that's wrinkled, or look at that dust, or I wish it was different. And simply notice the temptation to respond, to tend, to fix, and consciously choose to let it be, not to become attached to it, and simply continue to orient yourself to the space. And giving a slight turn towards the back, stretching out that vagus nerve in the spine. And that practice of turning to look behind you, anytime you feel heightened fear or anxiety, there's a primal impulse in us, that animal instinct that we have. When we turn to look behind us, it sends a message to our brain that you are safe. There is no impending fear or harm approaching. And as I do so, I notice the beautiful colors of the fall harvest here. A little squash. And as I do that, I feel some tightness in my side ribs. And without judgment, simply noticing. Perhaps I can choose to give that area of my body a little more care. There's just some simple twists there. And as you turn to face forward once again, lengthening the spine, imagining as though there is a string pulling from the crown of your head and also down from your sit points, just to straighten that spine. And bring your awareness to the body. there's any tension or sensation, allow your intuition, your natural impulse to bring some movement into those areas of the body. The shoulders, the neck. Right now for me, it's even the shoulder blades, the fingers, the jaw. And just notice, how are you feeling now? If you started in a place of experiencing some anxiousness or overwhelm, has that gone up, down, or stayed the same? If you were feeling peace and calm and present, has that gone up, down, or stayed the same? If you were noticing tightness in your chest or shortness of breath, has that increased, decreased, or stayed the same? Were you able to notice something about your surrounding that you didn't notice before? If so, what was it? And as we do this orientation practice, as we begin to attune our awareness, our focus, our presence to the here and the now, we begin to welcome pieces of our environment, of what it is we find ourselves surrounded by, into our experience in a new, and I'm going to use the word delightful way, because that's been my experience. The more that I silence the thoughts of my mind, the more that I begin to detach from all of the should be's that I need to, or that's waiting, or this is what I'm expected to do. And the more that I choose to be still and slow and present, the more I notice details of where it is that I find myself. And for me, that has been a delightful experience. And so as you continue in your day, might you remember this orientation practice. And if any time you notice yourself being pulled away, if you begin to come out of your body and taken into the thoughts of the mind, and you'd like to come back into presence, back into embodiment, may this orientation practice be one of many opportunities and ways in which you might be able to do that for yourself. If you enjoyed this practice and you'd like to try out more, feel free to look around my YouTube channel or send me a message for some of my online or in-person classes and programs. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.